Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
See anything.
All right. Good afternoon, and thank you all for coming out today. I know that many of us are currently fasting for my Muslim brothers and sisters, Ramadan Mubarak. May Allah reward us for our fasts, and may all of our efforts, regardless whether we're Muslim or not, be accepted today. We have decided to organize on this day specifically, as today is the 21st anniversary of Rachel Corrie's passing. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Rachel Corrie, she was an American peace activist who was crushed to death by an Israeli bulldozer while undertaking a non-violent direct action to protect the home of a Palestinian family from demolition. We bring attention to Ms. Corrie because despite her being an American, the US did not stand up for her. And now, 21 years later, it is clear that Israel and the United States have learned nothing, as the same atrocities are occurring daily in Palestine.
Shame!
Over the last 6 months, we have all bore witness to the genocide unfolding in Gaza. The genocide being funded by our tax dollars. Every day we watch as innocent men, women, and children are being bombed, sniped, crushed, and starved to death. All the while, those who we have elected to be our voices are completely silent, or worse, lie to our faces. Here in Danbury, the City Council has refused to add a ceasefire resolution to the agenda, claiming that this is not a local issue. But we are here to tell them that it is a local issue. To the City Council members, we ask, how is Palestine not a local issue when millions of our hard-earned tax dollars are being used for weapons and genocide, when they could instead be invested right here in our schools, roads, jobs, and the many Americans who are struggling to put food on the table and make ends meet? How is Palestine not a local issue when the earth we so cherish is being tarnished by raining bombs and white phosphorus? How is Palestine not a local issue when women are being forced to abandon their children in the ICU, have C-sections without anesthesia, and use tent scraps as feminine hygiene products, while our representatives continue to look the other way as women's rights are stripped here in the United States as well? How is Palestine not a local issue when there are Palestinian members in our community who have lost their friends and their family? How is Palestine not a local issue when members of our black, brown, and indigenous communities see themselves in the children and see themselves and their children in the Palestinians who are being dehumanized by our elected officials and murdered indiscriminately? And of course, how is Palestine not a local issue when members of our Jewish community are being told by the President of the United States that their safety is only dependent on the genocidal state of Israel? Reminder, there are no survivors of genocide. The mental health toll this will take on every single person living in Gaza and worldwide will persist for generations. When the City Council says Palestine is not a local issue, the message this sends to their community is that they are not willing to listen to our cries for help. But look around you. This is what Danbury stands for. Because Danbury stands with Palestine. Connecticut stands with Palestine, the United States stands with Palestine, and the whole world stands with Palestine. And we will not stop until our representatives hear our voices. All of our struggles are intertwined, and we must keep fighting for all those who are oppressed. This doesn't just apply to Palestine. This applies to Sudan, Yemen, Congo, Tigray, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, and all of the other oppressed people, because none of us are free until we are all free. Only through unity will we prevail. Thank you everyone again for coming out. Thank you to all the amazing people who helped me organize this and bring us here together today. And as always, free, free Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Free, free, free Palestine!
Mention Rachel Corrie. Mention her. Sorry, I did. You're late, bro.
We have some amazing speakers today. We're going to actually have Justine McCobb here to speak about Rachel Corrie and her legacy.
I wish you all Ramadan Kareem today. As we remember the 31,000 plus As we remember the 31,000 plus Gazans who've been killed since October 7th.
The mic not working? Put it right up to your mouth.
Right up to As we remember the 31,000 Gazans who have been killed since October 7th, we also remember Rachel Corrie on this anniversary of her killing in Gaza in 2003. We also remember the context of those killings, the facts that U.S. corporate media deliberately omit. Fact, Gaza has been a focus of Israeli death and destruction since Zionists twice drove native Palestinians, Muslims and Christians from their homes in historic Palestine. In 1948 and again in 1967. By 1967, Gaza's territory had been reduced to 25 miles long and 5 miles wide. 202.5 million Palestinians, two-thirds of whom are refugees, sometimes refugeed twice, and half the population is under 18. Gaza has been besieged by Israel since 2007. with at least 2 major Israeli invasions in 2008 and in 2014. Fact, historians call Gaza the biggest open-air prison on earth, a concentration camp, or a ghetto reflecting European Jews' racist confinement in Warsaw by the Nazis. Fact, Palestinians have always resisted, mainly non-violently, by staying on their land. Fact, Israeli bombing will not stop that resistance. Fact, in 2003, the second Al-Aqsa Intifada, or uprising, has been going on in the occupied territory since September 29, 2000. On that day, Israeli Defense Minister Ariel Sharon provocatively stormed the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in occupied East Jerusalem with more than 1,000 heavily armed police and soldiers. The occupation's brutality intensified. Fact, the Nonviolent International Solidarity Movement, or ISM, had begun. Internationals supported Palestinians resisting the ongoing seizure of their land, and especially demolitions of their homes. By 2022, so before October 7th, Israel had demolished over 56,000 homes, meaning they demolished them directly, not from aerial bombing or anything, they just demolished the homes. Enter 23-year-old Rachel Corrie, who had become a committed peace activist at Evergreen State College in Olympia. She joined ISM and in her senior year proposed an independent study program in which she would travel to Gaza, join ISM, and develop a sister city with Rafah and Olympia. In fact, on March 16, 2003, Rachel was in Rafah, non-violently protesting the imminent demolition of the home of a Palestinian physician, his wife, and 3 children. Okay. Okay, so on March 16th, 2003, Rachel was in Rafah, non-violently protesting the imminent demolition of the home of a Palestinian physician, his wife, and 3 children. wearing a fluorescent orange jacket with reflective stripes, had been on the scene for several hours, at times speaking into a megaphone. Like the other activists throughout that day, Rachel, in moments before her death, was standing in the path of an IDF bulldozer, U.S. made and sold to Israel through a U.S. Defense Department program. In fact, as the driver pushed the machine forward, she climbed onto a mound of dirt, so that she would be clearly visible. According to witness testimony reviewed at the time of the IDF killing of another Palestinian American, Al Jazeera journalist Shireen Abu Akleh, the IDF bulldozer driver kept advancing. When Rachel fell to the ground, the dirt engulfed her, but the driver moved several feet forward before backing off, effectively crushing her twice. The possibility that he did not see her as he claimed still defies credibility. Her last words were, "I think my back is broken." In fact, as with Shireen Abu Akleh, the Israeli government never took responsibility. The U.S. ultimately did nothing about Rachel's killing in 2003, nor Shireen Abu Akleh in 2022.
Shame!
Rachel's parents faithfully sought the truth, filed a failed lawsuit, as it turned out, against Israel, all the while lobbying our government, particularly Antony Blinken, out of state.
Shame!
Blinken sympathetically, both true, did nothing. In fact, Rachel's own words. This is an email to her parents a month before her killing. Quote, "You just can't imagine the situation here unless you see it. And even then, you're always well aware of your experience, that your experience is not all the reality. What with the difficulties the Israeli army would face if they shot an unarmed U.S. And with the fact that I have money to buy water, and the army destroys wells, and of course the fact that I have the option of leaving. Nobody in my family has been shot driving in their car by a rocket launcher from a tower on the street where I live. I have a home. Ostensibly, it is still quite different for me to be held by the Israelis for months and years on end without a trial, because I am a white U.S. citizen. In fact, sadly, we know more than ever that our government will not protect all the peace-loving, truth-seeking Americans from Israeli violence, let alone Gazans as Israel massacres them. We also know that our government, with our tax dollars, will serve, protect, and defend Israel and provide for arms. Indeed, our government's self-defeating but special relationship with Israel continues. With one hand, Biden offers transparently hypocritical words of sympathy for dead and starving Palestinians, while with the other, he finances the death and starvation of the same Palestinians. I want to conclude by leaving you with this hope. In fact, Rachel Corrie and Shireen Abu Akleh clearly live on, not only in plays and memorials about these extraordinary women, but in the peace-loving thousands here and around the world. Rachel and Shireen live on in each of you who came here to witness their witnesses. Each of you, they live on in each of you who came here to bear witness to the truth of the intentional crushing of human beings for seeking food, and actually because they are not Jews. And we all bear witness to the truth of ongoing genocide, not only of people, a people, but also of centuries of multiculturalism that lived in historic Palestine and that has lived in Gaza. If Rachel and Shireen were here, they would surely join us in shouting, "Never again for anyone."
Give it up,
All right, next up we're going to have Jason speak. Jason, please.
Is this working? Okay. Hello, everyone. Assalamu alaikum, hello. My name is Jason, and I have been part of the greater Danbury area for the past 20 years. I'm a filmmaker, a content creator, a writer, and a photographer. I know the power of images. They say a picture speaks 1,000 words, and that is 100% true. A still image can capture more emotion than any written report. And we have all seen the horrific images and videos coming out of Gaza and Palestine. These images are burned into our minds, and we cannot forget them, and that is the point. With such haunting images like this, it is hard to think how anyone, especially people in power, can say it's complicated or do nothing. And so many politicians have come to our communities looking for support come election time. Even more shocking are the open and unabashed supporters of the genocide. It's not complicated. The destruction and level of human suffering are clear for all to see. This is a genocide. The media tries to spin our stories and these images, but we know better. We can see these images for ourselves of Palestinians pulling lifeless children from rubble that once was their homes, and the other side mockingly writing messages onto the bombs that they used to drop on them. For too long, the Zionists have controlled the narrative by controlling what we see, and that is changing, and they are scared. Why do you think they are coming after TikTok? The head of the ADL called it Al Jazeera on steroids, and something needs to be done. When asked, Ted Cruz, he responded by saying TikTok is the home of the most anti-Israel propaganda. It's not propaganda. This is facts. And like they like to say, facts don't care about your feelings. Now, we can see firsthand the people of Palestine suffering the carnage of the Israeli occupation. The suffering, the sheer cruelty being inflicted upon them. They are hard to watch, they are upsetting, and they stay with us. And like I said, that is the point. We cannot simply scroll past and forget about what we see. They are supposed to make us feel. They are supposed to make us feel sad, anger, and that is supposed to make us take action. And that is why we are here today. And while we've been bombarded with countless images of suffering and horror, we have seen images of resilience. Images of Palestinians praying in the rubble that was once their mosques. Palestinian children finding small amounts of joy despite their suffering and showing more humanity than anyone would have thought possible. These moments give us hope, and that hope gives us courage. We have seen thousands of images from across the world of people coming out in the hundreds of thousands in support of Palestine. People of all walks of life coming together to demand a free Palestine. These images, the images of demonstrations are images of love, not hate, as the media likes to portray. The hatred is coming from the other side. For too long, this was considered an Arab issue, a Muslim issue. But what we are seeing is that this is a human issue. And I want to see more. I want to see more images of people coming together in the spirit of humanity and saying things cannot go back to the way that they were. No more status quo. See more images of people confronting those in power for their cowardly inaction and their heartless callousness. I want to see more images of people coming to the streets demanding justice and freedom for Palestine. I want images images of Palestinian children laughing and playing in a country of their own, of a vibrant culture flourished without a brutal Zionist occupation. Are we going to stop when our elected officials and local government refuse to hear us? No! Are we going to stop when the opposition tries to silence us? No! Are we going to stop? Are we going to stop at a ceasefire? No! Are we going to stop at anything less than justice and a free Palestine? No! You're damn right we're not! Free! Free Palestine!
Free Palestine!
Thank you to everyone for coming out. Thank you for the speeches. Everyone, that was very powerful. Who's ready to march? Yeah! All right.